Allegedly, men are invading fitness classes that are dominated by women, including Pilates, hot yoga. Wow, I can't imagine why men would want to be in a setting like that with a bunch of women wearing tight clothing and contorting their bodies. But that will remain a mystery. I guess they're just interested in getting toned and skinny like the rest of them.
Look,
but women,
Maha is a thing now.
Yeah.
Okay, guys want to get in shape.
Women are noticing an increasing amount of males in these boutique fitness classes, which are, they are quite expensive
But if a man,
a lot of the time, and it's a high investment in it.
Yeah.
So I would also be frustrated if I were them. They're all saying this is becoming a bigger and bigger problem, and they aren't able to just explicitly ban the men.
What if there were babies in the class? Can we ban the babies?
I mean, that would seem more fair, actually. It's including babies rather than men. Men are flocking to female-dominated yoga and Pilates classes, and women are enraged. Men are also being shamed for grunting and slurping, as well as heavily breathing while attending these classes. It's reminiscent of the rules that they've implemented at Planet Fitness, where you're not allowed to grunt in a disruptive way while you're lifting weights. You will get kicked out and banned for life.
What about cameras? They should ban the cameras too.
Ban all iPhones in gyms, period. People need to stop.
Do you go to the gym?
No. I'm saying I shouldn't be seeing so much of the inside of a gym on social media.
Yeah.
That's a problem in and of itself.
So the problem here is that they thought these classes were for just the ladies, or they assumed that it would be just the ladies. Did they specify whether it was actually advertised as women only? Or was it just that they were things that were predominantly done by women initially but are now being picked up by men?
I mean, it's kind of implicitly female coded, right? Like, you understand, not that it's said
That's
explicitly,
the most feminine
but
thing
it's
I've
like,
heard. You
it's
should
pretty much,
know.
I mean, it's pretty much implied that if you go to a Pilates class, like, it's going to be women there, right?
I mean,
Men do yoga.
yeah, men, I mean, that's true. Men do yoga. And I think especially nowadays, unless you make it explicit that it's only women, there are going to be dandies that show up.
Even I love that. Well, even if
dandies?
Yeah, I love that term. We should bring that back. But even if you do explicitly say that it's a females only class, that just is going to make men want to invade it even more, and they'll just, pretend to be women to do so.
Yeah.
But we're actually talking about men who don't have some kind of delusion that they're women. Just men, normal, straight men. And they're showing up and causing a huge disruption. And there are women on TikTok speaking out against this trend currently.
They're very upset.
They are.
Rightfully.
They're
Here we go.
furious.
Men leave women alone.
not to be dramatic or anything, but if a man is in my Pilates class, my day is automatically ruined. It's over. Canceled.
They will one
Not
day
to-
study TikTok hand gestures.
There's a lot of hand gestures going on. Is that something they teach in Pilates? It's just like going like
Yeah.
this.
Well, no, this is a TikTok thing. It's like your hands have to be doing something.
It's weird.
Because you're holding the phone with one hand and then you're doing this.
Yeah.
With the other hand,
A
you know.
lot of underhanded pointing like this.
See, and this one too. This one I get. This one can actually be used like if you're giving like a public speech or something, you can use
Sure.
this as a point of inflection to guide your speech. So that looks to be what she's doing here. Let's listen to this one.
About men in group fitness classes, it's gonna piss some people off, but I don't just took a hot
Oh, a guy interrupted her.
Thank you. We put a girl on.
All right. Hardy. Okay. Let's continue. Hold on. Here we go. We'll start.
I'm gonna say something about men in group fitness classes. It's gonna piss some people off, but I don't. I just took a hot yoga class, and there were many guys in the class. This particular man, push-ups before class started, heavy breathing, grunting, slurping his water. It is a quiet, zen, peaceful yoga class. It is 7 in the morning. Why
Not
must you
anymore.
take up more space than you already naturally do? Why can you be seen and not heard? Demure, cutesy, you know? Like, you don't. We get it. You're a man. Like, you don't need to act like that, though. It's annoying, and we all secretly hate you.
So there is something like men are just noisier than women. When I'm hanging out with my girlfriend,
I know that girls don't dress for the male gaze, but at any Pilates.
Continue.
There are times where I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, and I've said this to her. I'm like, Sarah, well, when I'm hanging out with you, I feel like I'm like a gorilla because she you never hear her breathe. She's all small and quiet, and I'm like, and I don't even. And when I'm alone, I don't even notice it. Like I don't even notice that I'm making noise, and then like when I compare myself to my dainty little girlfriend, it's like. I feel like I'm like a bull. Ask her.
That's hilarious.
Seriously. I've said that. I'm like, you make me feel like I'm like an animal.
Yep.
So there is some truth to that. But when it comes to public places that are not exclusively for women, if it's not specified, this is only for women, then you shouldn't really complain a whole lot. You can easily find women-only classes. There are women-only everything all over the place that specify it, that should exclude trans women if we lived in a sane world. And I'm sure you can find places that will exclude trans women, and they should exclude trans women. But
hope.
Well, I mean, I imagine
it's kind of illegal now. It's illegal
to exclude trans women,
trans people.
I don't think it is. I think that this administration has changed that.
Maybe somebody could be like, look, I was in a house fire recently, and I was expecting a big, burly dude to come save me, but instead a cutesy, demure woman came in the room and couldn't lift me. Maybe some spaces are just more predominantly
The pick-me firefighter who runs in is like, oh my gosh, you're like so big. Like, I don't know. The pick-me firefighter who's like, whoa.
The
like,
sad fact is...
This fire is like so scary right now, and you're like so heavy. Like, I can't do this right now.
We
I'm
live
just
in
a girl!
We live in a world now where everybody is blended together to the detriment of society sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, but here's the thing. You know, the worst thing that could happen to you is a bad hot yoga class. The worst thing that could happen in the burning fire is that, you know, they can't pick you up and carry you out.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
The problem is the men can't go to a men-only Pilates class because they don't want to be in a class of all gay men. They don't even want to be around each other.
Yeah.
That's the issue. We have a 20 from Dr. Larsena. My opinion might be useless, but answer me this. If history is a relentless march from Trent to Francis, how is the Reformation not a good idea as a backup plan? Who wants to trust their salvation to these unforgiving wokies? I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I don't know it. The
Pope is not responsible for my salvation at all. Jesus is. So I don't even know what to say to that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, people have just committed so hard to the idea that men and women are the same that these situations keep happening. And, you know, I bet that these women would probably be roasted if they said they didn't want gay men to be a part of their classes, because they're essentially put in the same bucket of... And
they're in a different part of the hierarchy of progressivism.
And we just saw this new Twitter controversy about father planning a boys trip for his son and his nephew, and his tomboy daughter didn't get invited. She's very hurt by this, and her mother feels like the dad really effed up and should have included her, but she doesn't seem to understand that clearly that time between men is important and should be respected, and the dad doesn't seem to understand that that needs a real explanation.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be made explicitly understood to his daughter that that time is important and needs to be respected, and that she'll have her own time.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of those whole discussions just felt like it could be explained with a little bit more communication.
But everyone they either wanted to blame the dad or they wanted to blame the mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, it could all be solved
if stories are
someone just explained reality to her in a loving way.
Those stories are the backbone of why the internet is going to be the end of everything, because we're like everyone's sitting online arguing about this, and I'm just like, imagine what we could be doing collectively as a society if we weren't worrying about this person whose name I'm never going to know, who lives in a place that I will never go, who has a family that I will never meet, and we're all committing brain power to arguing about it. Look, I get it.
what?
That's the whole point of this show. I'm just saying that maybe we're the bad guys
I have another
because
hot
we're
take.
talking about it.
I have a huge hot take. Maybe people are gonna agree with this, or maybe they're gonna be mad. I don't think that men should do things like Pilates or yoga. Whoa! Huge super chat from Jared May.
With no
Big crisis party super
no
chat.
message.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sick.
I don't think men should do those things. I think it's
should-
undignified.
Yoga is a very, very good thing for men to do as they get older.
Yoga? You don't think men should do yoga?
Well, personally, I'm
into-
against yoga, but
Look into what
it's kind of lame.
Look
Why are
into
you-
what Diamond Dallas Page has done for like aging, arthritic, like broken down athletes with
No, I'm not
DDP
saying it's
yoga.
not
Like,
good for them. I just don't think they should do it.
Why are you against yoga?
Personally, I'm against yoga because you're doing worship poses to false gods.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
not a joke. That's
No, I'm
actually
saying-
true.
I'm saying
like, that's the origin of
I
it.
wasn't sure if you were just giving like a Mary hot take or
No.
if there was a
No, but
okay.
that's entirely separate. But I mean, men shouldn't even be doing Pilates because it's just kind of yay for them to be doing that. Personally,
I don't
that's how I
actually
feel.
know what Pilates. I mean, I know what Pilates is, but I wouldn't be able to tell you that's them doing Pilates. Yoga, I get.
It's kind of more. I think it's more intense. Like it requires more muscle strain and actual strength training than
Okay.
yoga. But nothing religiously objectionable about Pilates. I just don't think men should do it. It's just kind of fruity.
Like one of
Like,
the,
is that crazy of me to say? I just think it's fruity.
I'm guessing for most of them, the idea is like, look, if it benefits my health, the opinion of other people's opinion of what they think it is doesn't really matter. For the majority of the ones that are doing it. It's really funny. I was talking to someone recently about why getting into my late 30s, what like the hardest part about skating is the stretching. So for a lot of years in my early 30s, when I didn't drive, I lived in an area where I didn't have to have a car, and I would walk to get places and I would walk to get to skate spots, and I didn't actually understand that the reason I didn't have to stretch at that time is because I was walking sometimes as much as a mile to get where I was going. So by the time you get there, just the act
True.
of walking a mile loosens your muscles and gets you in shape to actually then go into physical activity. Now in my late 30s, it's not just that you're a couple years older, but you're driving to get places and you're basically starting from scratch.
Right.
Every day, so there's no warm up and cool down. So now I have to I have to stretch and I have to move for 10 minutes before I get started, and I'm very impatient. So I get it.
You'll start attending yoga classes anytime.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.